Okay, so today, or tonight, we're going to work on this, here it is, the stained glass assignment. So our job is to draw and construct geometrical figures and describe the relationship between them, analyze proportional relationships and use them to solve real-world and mathematical problems, apply and extend previous understandings of operations with fractions to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers. So we're going to figure this out. Now, this is the problem. Jennifer's making a stained glass project in art class. The diagram shows a scale drawing of her design. The scale drawing of her design is 1 inch to 4 inches. So for every 1 inch, it's actually 4 inches. We're going to use a scale of 3/8 of an inch to 1 inch to reproduce Jennifer's stained glass design. Explain your process and include your reasoning for each step you used. Okay, so my first go around with this, I actually measured each line. Then it was getting too messy and sloppy, so I was like, there has to be an easier way. And there was. And here it is. So I measured from the top to the bottom those straight solid lines, and they were 5.5 inches. So the scale would be 5 1/2 to 22, because 1 to 4, if I multiply this by 4, I get the actual length. Then I took another color and I highlighted these lines because they're all the same. They're all 3.5 inches. So the ratio for those would be, or the proportion would be 3.5 to 14. The scale actually. So then I thought, okay, well, what other lines are the same? So I measured these two lines here. They were 1 1/4 inches. Then I measured the lines here and here. They were 2 inches each. The remainder of the lines that are in purple were only 1 inch. So this was the original scale here. Then I had to figure out, okay, how am I going to get this into the new scale? So I have the old scale here is 1 to 4. The new scale needs to be 3.5 to 1. So I was thinking about it, and this is how I figured it out. 5 1/2 inches has to be a fraction because our new scale contains a fraction. So I changed 5 1/2 to an improper fraction. I multiplied 5 times 2 and added 1. And that gave me 11 halves. So there's my 11 halves. And I multiplied that by 3/8. And I got 33/16, which is, Daisy, which is an improper fraction. So I had to reduce or simplify it. So now my fraction, or my scale, would be 2 1/16. Okay. Oh, she's eating popcorn.
Good.
Lord have mercy. Pause that.
Begin.
Okay, so we're going to do the same thing with 3 1/2. And my blue lines are all 3 1/2 inches. I have to turn 3 1/2 inches into an improper fraction because 3/8 is a fraction. So that becomes 7 halves. So I multiply 7 halves times 3/8. 7 times 3 is 21. 2 times 8 is 16. I have to simplify that and it becomes 1 5/16. Let's look at this, 1/4. So I have to take 1 1/4 and put that into an improper fraction. So 4 times 1 is 4. 1 plus 1 more is 5/4. Okay? 5/4 times 3/8 equals 5 times 3 is 15. 4 times 8 is 32. Well, that's about as low as it can go because it can only multiply 15 by 3 and 5 and 1 and 15. And since it's not an even number, we can't do anything with it. So that's as low as it'll go. Now we have 2. 2 over 1 times 3/8, which equals 6/8. And I can simplify that by dividing this by 2 and this by 2, and that gives me 3/4. The last one is 1 over 1 times 3/8, which is going to equal 3/8. All right, so now that we have our new measurements, right, we need to recreate or reproduce and draw this stained glass window. So I want to make sure I get the right measurements here. So this is now blue. This is my blue line. This is my yellow line. This is my orange line. This is red. And this is purple. Is this so very interesting to you, Daisy? Is it? Are you so interested in this? It's so much fun. Okay. Let's draw our figure. All right, I'm going to use this as an example just to kind of follow it along. All right. Here's my ruler. So my yellow lines, I'm going to start with those first. Give the dog the popcorn. And they, well, Daisy May. All right, I have to plug it in. Okay, so we're going to start out with drawing the big outside rectangle first. So I know that this line here is going to be 2 1/16 inches. So I have my ruler and I'm going to start here and I'm going to mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16ths. Okay? So if I mark 16ths, it's 1 inch, 2 inches, and 1/16. Okay? Now I'm going to do this line across, which is 1 5/16 inches. So we have 1 inch and 5/16. Okay, then I'm going to do this line again. 1 5/16. 5/16. And then I can connect these. Okay, there we go. Now, the one thing I did not do was figure out how far in my line, second line goes. So just like in when I was over here, it's 1/2 of an inch. So if I take this here is 1/2 times 3/8, which is 3/16 of an inch. So I have to mark in 3/16. 1, 2, 3. This would be where my line goes. And I know it's the same on the other side, so I'm going to mark from 3/16 here. And I'm going to draw my line straight up here and straight up here. A little crooked, I didn't know that straight, but you get the idea. Okay? So now I have my yellow lines drawn and one blue line. So now I'm going to do the same thing to figure out what this blue line is. And my guess is it's also 1/2 inch, which it is. So this would be 3/16 of an inch too. So we go 3/16 of an inch. Turn the paper because I want to get 3 here and 3 here. So we go across this way and we go across this way. So my measurement was off down here a little bit. Okay, now we're going to draw this line here. So once again, let's figure that out. It's 2 inches, and I know that's 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take my ruler, 3/4 of an inch right here. That's going to go up like that. Then this is 1.5 inches. Did we do 1.5 inches? Oh no, I'm sorry. It's 1 1/4 inches because it's orange. So orange would be 15/32. 16. How do we do that?
16 times 2 is 32.
Mm-hmm. So that would be 15/32s. Well, I don't know. 16, 15, 7. It's like if I put that into
7.5.
yeah, it's like 7.5/16. So 7/16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go up 7 here, and we're going to do the same because the line is the same at the top. My lines are a little crooked. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There. So here and here. Let's get rid of this.
Microsoft Dynamics. It runs better on Google Chrome or Edge than Internet Explorer. Why? I don't know.
Okay, so the next thing we need to measure from here to here for this line across. So that's 1 1/2 inches. So let's see. 1 1/2 is actually 3/2 times 3/8, which is 9/16. So this is 9/16, this is 9/16, and this is 9/16. So let's do it. Right? Right. So we got 8/16 would be half, so 1 extra. Right there. Then from there, we do it again. And one more time. So, is that right? Oopsies. That's was a little high. I'm a little off. Okay, so let's draw these lines across here. This is really like a lot of work. Okay. So now I've drawn my purple lines here. Now I have to get this big old diamond thing in the center. And how on earth do I do that? Well, I'm going to tell you. You're going to take your 2 lines here and you're going to connect the dots. So you're going to connect. Oh, Lord have mercy. What the heck is this? 1 inch. So 3/8 of an inch. So this is going to come in. Three-eighths. Right? Right. So this connects to this, which connects to this, which connects.
That does not go that far out.
No? Shoot dang. Oh, crud. Just goes to here. Sorry. To here. My fault. We measured to the wrong line. Okay. To here. Right. Then this one comes in to here and to here. So this line goes through here and this line goes through here. Right? Is that wrong? That's not wrong. Because that's the square. Then I just need to do this one. Ta-da! There it is. I think we did it. I think we did it. Did you stop it? Stop laughing at me. So this new scale is 3/8 inch to 1 inch. Whew, that was a lot of work. All right. Well, try it out. See how it goes. Let me know what you think. All right. Bye.